Hello everybody, welcome to J After Hours. We're going to watch Ben Shapiro review Superman.
Yippee!
Do you have the space to like hit the space bar, or do you want me
Shall I
to
lock in?
Because I know you're probably going to get more annoyed than me.
No, I can get there.
Yeah?
Is it spacebar or K?
Either's fine.
On my PC, spacebar doesn't work anymore.
Oh, try it.
Alrighty, folks. So,
That was kind of swishy.
Wait, is it
I watched the new Superman, and I have many.
Right, whatever. Let's just go.
Sponsored by friends over at ExpressVPN.
Hold up.
Okay.
Faster than normal.
How's he allowed to do that?
You know, I went with my wife.
Yeah.
My wife and I always have an interesting time watching movies together because
He's
when I
looking
go, I'm
different
very
now,
analytical about what I think of the movie.
He had lots of
I went
surgery,
that's an
right?
overall gestalt, and it's mostly like, that was fun. And so my wife's review was, that was fun. And I think most people who come away from the movie will probably do the that was fun thing, and that seems to be what the people are saying. People are
no.
in the movie.
A fun
it's
Superman movie?
The importance of it is charming. He has good physical presence. I didn't mind him as Superman at all. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane was fine. I thought she was great. I thought both of them had good chemistry. I thought all of that was
Right, so
fine.
he loved it.
And then there's the analysis. So, my overall review of Superman. Superman is super meh. It's meh. Okay, so all the people who are getting super exercised over the politics, and we'll get to the politics a little bit later on. I think that they are overestimating how much politics is in this. I think they're deliberately misinterpreting some of the politics that are in there. This is not a movie about illegal immigration. It's not a movie about ICE, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, the Palestinians. There may be references there if you have politics on
that
the brain.
AI generated?
Other than that, I really don't think
It looked like it, yeah.
That is not my overall problem with the movie. My overall problem with the movie is that you are taking the most iconic American IP of all time, Superman, which is to be treated with a certain level of respect. That doesn't mean it has to be a grand mythology the way that Zack Snyder wants to do. Like, my standard for Superman is not Man of Steel. My standard for Superman movies is 1978.
Wait, how is his one not a grand mythology?
It just is. Overall, here's my problem. James Gunn is the wrong director, writer, creator for this thing.
I saw Chewbacca on the cover of People magazine. I was like, oh my God.
He's just wrong for it. It's Guardians of the Galaxy.
What was that
with
supposed to
Superman.
prove?
So that means it's all kind of a mess. It's an overstuffed movie in every way. It's visually overstuffed. In terms of plot, the plot holes
cool.
are big enough to drive through them. There are character problems. And all of it is just kind of wrapped around this gauzy, fast-paced, jokey tone. That
Oh no.
Does he want Zack Snyder?
That weird comment seemed to say he gave more credence to Snyder's version.
Yeah, and Zack Snyder is known to be like Ayn Randian, like he loved her. Dude, there was like too much there to. He talks very fast.
Yeah, I do have it a little bit faster too.
Some of it is like valid, you know. Like
you could make an overstuffed argument.
Yeah. I think that's a valid criticism. Saying that it's too fast paced is crazy. Like fast paced and funny for Superman.
And James Gunn is wrong.
Yeah, because he likes Chewbacca.
Yeah, I don't get that clip at all.
Yeah, what did that have to do with anything? Okay.
doesn't mesh with Superman as central part of Americana, to me. James Gunn's sensibility is always to be subversive. That is what he does. He does subversive in Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Is that even true?
No, not really.
I don't think it is. I think his biggest skill is ensemble character stories.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And like Guardians of the
subversion.
Galaxy 1 is like a pretty standard Marvel movie. It's just like a good Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And even I said that.
What are they? Does he mean like he's good at doing it, and that's what's subversive? Is that like
maybe
he cares about comic books? So
also, I resent that that idea of Superman being like about America,
the Americana thing.
Yeah,
I kind of agree with that though. Actually, maybe I disagree with you on this. I think he is he's a deeply American character.
Yeah.
Like the whole isn't that supposed to be what he represents and resembles? Is like where he crashed landed.
Yeah, like
and
a good
the ethics
a good
that he
family, but like I feel like this movie made an effort to like when Lois is saying about how he was representing America in Jahanpur, the made up country. He says like, no, I was just representing me and like goodness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's his representation of like being a good like what I guess is like the ideal American moral good. You know, it's not representing American like political belief. It's representing
but isn't that
American
exactly
moral values.
Isn't that exactly what makes that scene so interesting, though? Is that it's kind of talking about the fact that you can't really move the Americanism from him as a character. He's going to be always viewed as an American symbol.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the best things about the movie. I don't think he handled that poorly at all.
Yeah, I'd say it's like a merit. That's even like a conversation that can be had about a
I think that's an amazing scene.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see where Ben takes it.
Yeah.
Comic book movie, and he turns it into sort of a potty-mouthed sitcom.
Don't drink fountain water, you idiot. That's disgusting.
And he does the same thing.
How's that potty
He
mouth?
takes that same sensibility,
Yeah,
and now
that's
he's
an
doing
awful
that with
example.
Superman.
Superman robots, I thought I told you to keep an eye on him.
We feed the canine, but he is unruly. And he realizes we are not flesh and blood and couldn't, in our heart of hearts, care less whether he lives or dies.
And I get that after the interpretation of the Snyderverse is over-serious, he's reversing himself into completely the opposite direction. But what that means is that he's constantly subverting everything.
I was raised with a dog that was my sister.
The very beginning of the movie, you are told that Superman is the
What
most
are these
powerful
clips?
metahuman. Right? There's like a plaque
Very strange.
that says 30 years ago, the metahumans arrived. 3 years ago, Superman
fuck
emerged.
is that?
3 weeks
What are we
ago,
looking
there was
at?
an invasion. And now 3 minutes ago, Superman's ass got kicked.
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
He's not very super. He is not the Man of Steel. He is not invulnerable. He gets his ass kicked routinely. He gets locked up in a prison with a character who's making kryptonite out of his hands.
I'm sorry, what?
He is constantly in victim mode. Like Green Lantern has much more success in this movie. Mr. Terrific has
That's
much
not
more success
true,
in this
though.
movie than Superman. Superman's parents from Krypton, if you're going to go through the mythology, send him to Earth so that he can be a moral guide for people on Earth using his great powers to stop evil from happening to them. In this movie, his parents from Krypton send him there. This is the big revelation of the movie. His parents send him there to dominate the life on Earth as an alien invasion, essentially, and to create a harem of Earth women to have his many babies.
Well, sign me up.
So immediately you're taking the expectation of what you know about his Krypton parents and flipping it on its head. His parents, Ma and Pa Kent, in the original, they are noble and they are wise. They're kind of salt of the earth. Here, they're basically kind of, I don't know, like down home types who don't seem to, they live in a kind of a crappy house. They're the kind of people who call TV the
What?
Okay.
How are they not salt of the earth?
Yeah, what the fuck is he talking about? Also, like,
I wanted
okay,
Kevin
to-
Costner to put his hand up and say,
Yeah,
let
don't
the
save
school
anyone
children in a
ever.
bus die,
Yeah,
maybe.
and let me die, please. Like, yeah. To reel it back, I hate that like Superman, or he's just get beaten up,
Yeah.
or baby.
Wait, we joked about that in our As They Say about Superman.
Yeah.
But, like, they were
It's
gonna
like,
be-
did we watch the same movie?
I know.
Like,
Has he ever done a review of a film that like he likes?
I don't know. Maybe. He did the he wore like a tuxedo for that school shooter movie.
Oh, the
So-
movie that was from his production company.
Yes. Yeah. So he thought that was good.
Right.
But like to counter his points, like, I mean, do you think Ben Shapiro has ever read a comic book?
No.
Do you think he's ever watched like a Superman cartoon?
No.
Because like kryptonite exists for this exact reason, so that Superman can be weak and in peril, and like that's the purpose of like that scene, you know. And if you want an action scene like when Superman fights fucking Stepping Wolf, whatever, where he just rolls up and he's like, yeah, whatever,
boom, boom,
and
boom.
yeah, he just kills him. Or he just hands him to Wonder Woman. Yeah, kill this fucking guy.
Oh, yeah,
But that's-
they decapitate him.
Yeah, it's like
Nice.
it's kind of a snooze fest, you know.
Yeah.
I want Superman to be in peril the same way I want any like action scene. If there's no peril, then it's boring.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Box. They're the kind of folks who are sitting around and you know, kind of scratching their butts. They're purposely cast as ugly and non-noble. Doesn't mean everything they say is bad.
That's
It
really
isn't, but- And by the way, both of them are alive in this, right? The original
His
Superman
parents-
mythos
yeah, that
is
is
a pocket
horrible.
dog.
They're like old
And Netflix sends
people.
Superman on his
What the
journey. Anyway,
fuck?
Crypto. The super dog is a terrible dog. Is a dog that does not, like an idiot dog. Like way worse than my dog Happy. My dog Happy, way better than this dog, and my dog makes trouble. This dog is a mess. Supergirl, who you get introduced to for a hot second at the very end. Supergirl is a drunken teenage brat.
That's a funny movie.
Right? Like anything that you think you know about the Superman universe, James Gunn is determined to debunk in the first half hour of the film. I think that it's a betrayal of the original IP and mildly upsetting. Not like hugely upsetting, but mildly upsetting. That is my critique of James Gunn. He's not the right person for this film because James Gunn is not capable of delving. He's just not. He's not capable of delving into a single character and examining his motivations and what's interesting about that character. He can't do it with Superman. He can't do it with Lois.
So his argument there was that
Instead,
my
he decides
dog
he's just going to toss everything into the stew. And so you end up with
better
sort of
than crypto in real life,
where
so
a bunch of things are
crypto's
going on
bad?
at the same time, but you never get a good, interesting perspective on anybody who's in the film. So Green Lantern is there, and he's kind of just a schmuck, and he's there as comic relief. And then you have Mr. Terrific, who's the actual hero of the film, who you learn nothing about other than he's just kind of a noble do-gooder fellow. And you have all these superheroes who are wandering around. You never get any information about them that makes them interesting or sympathetic or even particularly cool. But you don't know the motivations of any of the villains, except for Lex, who it turns out is just really kind of jealous of Superman because Superman has superpowers, and Lex is like, I'm really smart.
This video has
Superman is
Lex
really strong, so why do
energy.
people like Superman more than they like me?
Yeah,
Which is a
it
pretty
does.
boring motivation, to be frank.
But
So
that
characters are
is
complete
the
pastiches.
character
They're
of
just
Lex Luthor.
cardboard
Like,
cutouts.
how is
Even the moments that are supposed to hit don't hit because there's so much going on in the background because James Gunn cannot control his ADHD. He just cannot.
I think he was pooping his brains out for the next 36 hours.
There's a scene where Clark
Clip chimping
and
him hard.
Lois, they've had a fight and now they're back together and they're having a talk. And it's supposed to be this very intimate talk where they're speaking with each other. And literally outside the window, Green Lantern and Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl are fighting a gigantic sort of eye monster that looks like it's from Suicide Squad. It's extremely distracting.
Who edits
James
these?
Gunn and
Yeah, I
everything
don't
has to
know.
be some sort of dumb joke. You're like, well, shouldn't Superman be doing something about it? No, let them handle it. Again, that's irritating. As far as the plot itself makes very little sense. The plot is basically that Lex Luthor has decided that he is going to
What was
make
his
a deal
problem with that scene,
a foreign
though?
politician.
Like, that's one of the
who
best scenes
the
in the
left
movie.
wants to
Wasn't,
believe
like,
is both Vladimir
fighting it.
Putin and
He
Benjamin Netanyahu,
established
but
that
actually
it's,
is just kind of nothing, is going to invade another country. And Superman stops that invasion. Apparently, Lex wants
Here
to
we
use
go.
this as an excuse to box up Superman, saying that he's
The
running
real
counter to
reason he
American
doesn't
foreign
like the
policy.
movie.
Now, we've seen that iteration in other movies. Right, that was in Batman versus Superman. You've seen it in other versions of the Superman story, but it's not really taken.
Holy shit,
kind
he's
of to its
scary,
ultimate
that Superman.
extreme lately.
Yeah, he
In any
is.
case, it turns out that what he really wants is to annex half of this separate country. He's going to split it with this other dictator. One major plot hole. Lex Luthor is obviously the smartest person in the film. So smart he can create his own universes. Is a major plot point. And he is concerned about a relatively small piece of land occupied by third worlders.
They established
This is
that
his
that's
big
not
plan.
even his
Later, it
motivation.
turns out,
He
"Oh, no, I
explicitly
started that
says
war
that.
just so
Yeah.
that I could get people to turn against Superman." Okay, well, he does that halfway through the film. And then he jails him, and then he leaves him alive and explains the secondary plan. It apparently was his primary plan, sort of, but he doesn't kill Superman at the time for a reason that remains undisclosed.
We hear that he killed 27 children, and you're always going to make mistakes, but that's how it is.
The entire plot is a complete mess. If you try to chart it, there's no way to do it because James Gunn doesn't care about plot. James Gunn doesn't care about characters. James Gunn cares about jokes and aesthetics. That's what
Gunn
James
doesn't
Gunn
care
cares
about
Nobody cares
characters. What a
It's very
crazy thing
difficult
to
make Clark a
say.
hero in a situation in which the plot is a
It's like
complete mess.
all he
And again,
cares
that's not a
about.
rip on Nicholas Hoult, who I love and everything. I think he's great, or David Corenswet, or Rachel Brosnahan. That's a rip on James Gunn as a scriptwriter. It's just not a good script. Okay, we'll get to more of this Superman review, this overlong and overcritical Superman review in a moment. First, it's rather ironic when you think about it. Millions of military members have fought for our freedom, but a lot of the privacy that we
Isn't
rely
Ben
upon is
Shapiro
eroding every day.
literally
Our
a
phones
failed
listen to us,
screenwriter?
tech companies
Yeah.
track everything we do online. All that is completely legal. Fighting for freedom isn't just for the military anymore. We actually have to protect ourselves, and that's why I use ExpressVPN. It's basically like a shield for your internet. Okay, the visuals are, when I say a mess, I mean that the visuals are CGI vomit.
That's
Like a
whack.
complete CGI vomit. So James Gunn has an addiction to kind of gross and weird imagery, which doesn't really fit in the context of the, again, Americana that is Superman. And so there's some really gross and weird images, particularly in the Pocket universe, where you have characters who are turning themselves into weird tentacly octopuses, and you have people's eyes being attacked on a wide variety of. He has an obsession with eyes, James Gunn, and you can see it in Suicide Squad. He has like an obsession with the eyeball being pierced, and it's very strange and off-putting. My wife was very off-put by a lot of this imagery. It feels like psychedelic LSD CGI vomit is what it feels like for large portions
That's
of the film.
funny.
You
Someone who's
really get a
never
kinetic scene
dabbled
of
in
Superman
drugs.
doing something cool. You have multiple scenes of giant heavy objects falling on Superman, and Superman stopping the giant heavy objects.
Again,
from falling
like
to save
the
an individual.
sci-fi
Again, another
aspects
plot
of
hole. You have a
Superman
giant
are a
building,
Yeah.
huge
the entire
part
building will fall.
of that
You
character.
stop the
I'd
building
never
from
even
falling to save
considered
one
this
person or a chipmunk who's
type
in
of
the way.
thing.
But it's an entire building full of people, so presumably all those people are dead. In any case, the visuals, I think, are a problem. The music, again, John Williams is still alive. Just hire him to do your Superman movie, you stupid. Just stop it.
Get some help.
I get very exercised. This is the only thing that really exercises me about this. John Williams, his original Superman score is one of the great scores in all of movie history. It is a phenomenal score, beginning to end. It may be John Williams' best score. I love that
He's
score
also
so
like
much. It is a great, great score. It's magic.
95 or
Yeah.
something.
Let him rest.
And what do? They take the original theme and they play a few notes from it because it's so iconic, and then they underscore it with nothing, with like a pedal tone. It sucks. The music is awful. The score is terrible. Just play the original score. The original score is good. The original score is magic. You feel the magic when Superman flies in the original score. Like, what are you doing? Okay, then we get to the actual politics. So I know this is what people are waiting for. They're waiting for my political rip
God.
on this film.
Yeah,
So
let's
we've been
go.
told this is a movie about illegal immigration. Not really. honestly, like you have to look to find that. There's one line where Clark is saying, aren't you going to read me my rights? James Gunn's politics is so ham-handed, like truly ham-handed, that it doesn't even read as political, it just reads as stupid. So there's a moment where Clark, he's being arrested, and he says, aren't you going to read me my rights? And one of the members of the government says, well, you're now considered an enemy alien, or you don't have any rights because you're not an American. All right. Like,
fucking hell.
That's supposed to be some sort of like anti-ICE sentiment. It's really weak. Also, legally incredibly stupid.
But the film would have been written years ago.
Baby and was adopted by an American family.
This doesn't even make sense.
It's actually surprisingly like poignant.
Yeah.
To scam the system and come into the country on a vacation.
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
There's a suggestion that he says truth, justice, and the human way. I didn't catch that anywhere in the film. The sort of social media politics that social media is stupid and rigged by bots, which, I mean, I think everybody sort of agrees on at this point, and there's a really dumb visual joke where Alexis set up actual monkeys typing into computers.
That's like everyone's favorite joke.
Yeah, funny.
But that's so James Gunn. And it's also, I just don't like James Gunn. I mean, just to be. And again, I'm one
why
of the
don't you
people
just
who,
say
when
that
James Gunn was
then?
first fired from the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise in July 2018 over bad old tweets. I actually defended him at the time. So it's not about like anything personal with James Gunn. I just don't like his movies very much. The other politics of the
That
situation
is fine.
are supposedly this foreign policy thing. So the left is suggesting that the foreign policy conflict in which Superman engages is a stand-in for Israel and the Palestinians, or alternatively for Russia and Ukraine. So let me give you the geopolitical setup. The geopolitical setup here is that there is a country called Boravia, and this country called Boravia is run by essentially a corrupt dictator who's working with Lex Luthor, and invades another sovereign country, JARChive. Okay, and so Superman stops that at the very beginning. Okay, like, and it doesn't show him stopping it. He talks to Lois Lane about it. Fine. Okay, the idea is geopolitically that Boravia has been a longtime ally of the United States. JARChive is a country where we don't know who it's allied with, and it may or may not be run by jihadis, but we don't know. Like, we don't know who it's run by. It doesn't matter. The only reason that Clark stops it, that Superman stops it, is he says
people were going to die.
Yeah, a very Superman reason to do a Superman
why
thing.
this movie doesn't work, and why no really good Superman movie has been made since '78.
What did he say?
I'll explain in a moment. The people of JARChive are brown.
Look at my African American over here.
The people of Boravia are white. Okay, so this is why the left is reading this as Israel, the Palestinians. The reason it doesn't work that way is because we are not made aware that the people of JARChive are either wildly terrorism supportive, that they have participated in multiple terrorist attacks on the people of Boravia. They're led by a corrupt dictatorship that murders gay people, right? None of that's in the movie. So it doesn't match up that way. And the idea that Boravia is Israel in this iteration, like a longtime U.S. ally that's randomly invading countries for territorial gain, that does not match up to any of the facts on the ground that we know of at all. That's not real. So maybe in left-wing brain, that's how it reads. I could see if you're left-wing brain,
this is turned into like a fever dream.
You could read that maybe. You could also read this as Russia-Ukraine because it's one sovereign country that's invading another sovereign country, and because the leader of Boravia has a Russian accent. So I guess that if you
You're
have
making fun of
poison
Gunn for
left
being
brain,
ADHD, but this editing.
Yeah.
Go! Go, go, go! We're all gonna die! Come on, come on! The missiles are coming! They've lost their back! Get to the jail!
but you certainly don't have to read it that way. And I'm not going to read it that way because it's stupid and it doesn't make any sense politically. It makes no sense. Okay, so this brings me to my final point about this movie and all other Superman films.
Final point.
The fundamental flaw in all Superman movies of my lifetime is the thing that Hollywood cannot say and will not do.
Politics, does he still stand for truth, justice, all that stuff?
The only Superman movie that I have ever seen that uses truth, justice, and the American way is the original 1978 Superman.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice and the American way.
This is not just a throwaway line. It is deeply important to the character of Superman. Why? Well, because take Superman just as a character. Superman is unbelievably powerful, unstoppable. He's faster than anyone. He has X-ray and laser vision. He's stronger than anyone, right? He's basically a god on Earth, and the biggest god. He's Zeus, right? He can do whatever he wants. And so, why is he the good guy? Why isn't Lex Luthor right? Because, let's be real, if there were a person on Earth who actually had those powers, Americans would rightly be very much afraid of that. Correctly. As Federalist 51 suggests, you need ambition to counteract ambition. If any one person had ultimate power, what you're really talking about is a philosopher king. And that's pretty scary because that person could be a dictator, simply doing whatever they want to the world. The only reason why Superman would be a hero as opposed to a villain is because he grew up in America, because he has the American way, right? He's emblematic of what America is. May blunder, may make mistakes, but overall stands for freedom and liberty, and private property, and free speech, and all of those things.
All that stuff.
Right? All the good American stuff. There's a great comic book called Superman Red Sun. It's an alternative universe in which Superman's capsule
I watched the movie based on
lands in
that
Soviet Russia.
comic.
He grows up as the emblem of Soviet Russia, and he's evil because he grew up in Soviet Russia. Because if you give
I'd
that
be
power, that
interested
amount of power to an evil ideology,
It's
then
kind of a
evil
fun
ensues.
idea
So
for
this is why it's really important. It's not
story.
just truth, justice, and the human way, or truth, justice, and all that good stuff. There's a specific definition of Americanism that says that this is why America, for example, should be a world power. Because America is better than other countries. And people who live in accordance with Americanism make the world better if they have more power. That's why America is good. Because otherwise, Superman is bad, and Lex Luthor is right, and we should restrict his power. And we should jail him, and we should check and balance him, and we should not let him be free. The problem is that Hollywood cannot say the American way because they don't believe in the American way. They don't believe that America is unique. They don't believe in these American basic values and principles and rights. They have a hard time.
Isn't that
even
the
with the idea
implication
that,
of
the values
like his family and stuff
Ma
anyway?
and Pa Kent and that farm are values
But
that
also,
ought to be
like,
promulgated
this-
in the best of all possible circumstances.
This is a film
and so
being
what they come
sold
away
to,
with
like, the
in kind of the
world.
key moment in this movie, for
Right.
example, is Pa Kent telling Clark that parents don't make missions for their kids. Right? They don't make their kids kind of what they are in terms of what they should be. They give kids the tools to choose what they want to be, and then those choices make those kids what they are. Okay, that's kind of half true and half not. Of course, you give your kids the tools to make choices in life, but you also try to define the mission your kid should have in life. That's maybe the most important thing you do as a parent. Direct them in a world of choices at what is the ultimate good? What is the ultimate goal? Hollywood is not run by people who believe that there is such a thing as an ultimate good or an ultimate goal.
This
It's
is
run by moral
weirdly,
relatives
like,
who have a kind of, at best,
conspiratorial.
soft-pedaled.
It strikes me as Ben got declined a
Generic,
his piece of
be
Hollywood.
nice attitude toward the world, which is why
yeah.
Superman's defense of intervening in this foreign conflict is
People were going to die.
okay. Well, people would die on the other side, presumably, if you didn't intervene, or people die every day in conflicts all over the world. Right? The reason that Clark or Superman is supposed to intervene is because one side is right and one side is wrong. And unless you are willing to simply say that all foreign policy situations in which people die under any circumstances are equivalent, which I don't think is right, then you
But
end
that's
up in this kind of
exactly
weird
what that
generic
scene was
place.
exploring
The central
there.
question of
Yeah.
Superman has never really been handled by any movie, and it's certainly not handled here. Which is
Like
why should one
his
person be given this much power?
naivety
And the answer is
kind
he
of
shouldn't,
part of
unless
it, right?
is
Like he
essentially
just
the metaphor
all
for
he just
what
sees
is America
people
also,
dying,
which is what
and
Superman was
that's
designed to be. This is why Superman
like
in the
full
original
stop.
comics is punching Hitler.
Like, he wants to stop that.
The American
He's,
way, not
like,
the German
he's
way,
only
or
been
the Soviet
Superman
way,
for
or
3
the Chinese
years.
way,
Yeah.
which are different things.
I guess it's
So,
implied that
is
this
the
is the
fatal
first
flaw, I
war
think,
to
for
break
pretty
out
much all
since
Superman movies,
him.
but in this one specifically,
Right.
they don't even bother with any of that. It's cotton candy. You'll watch it. Maybe you'll enjoy it. Maybe you'll be like me and be overcritical. You'll walk away. 2 days later, you won't be thinking about the movie. 2 hours later, you won't be thinking about the movie. Nothing about the movie is going to stick with you. The hero of the movie is
Wrong!
Superman has to be saved multiple times by this, like, not particularly good dog.
Why is
it
that-
a
why
good
is he
dog, I suppose,
hung
but
up
he
on
really
that?
is
So
badly
weird.
behaved, this dog. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So my overall review, 2 out of 5 stars. Meh. I think that the stars do their best with bad material given to them by James Gunn.
The worms going in through the mouth and helping him as he's sobbing. And, he was it's kneeling at the end of the bed, and I was on the other side of the bed for that whole time.
Good job by David Corenswet. Good job by Rachel Brosnahan. Good job by Nicholas Hoult. Good
These
job by
clips
Eddie Gathegi.
are crazy.
Yeah, I
they're
do.
terrific. But, Superman, as I say, super meh.
Daily Wire with another banger.
Man.
I wasn't sure what to expect from this.
Yeah. That's way less scolding than I was expecting, which I think
it kind of sounded like he liked it. He actually
he
kind of
wanted to like it.
Yeah, everything was
he had to like make some shit up.
He had to fight it. He had to just say like whatever he could think of.
This movie made me feel really good, but
I loved all the
James
actors
Gunn
in
made
it. Like, I
Yeah.
love, like wow, what a terrible video.
yeah, I think it's super like disingenuous to take this movie with the tone that it clearly sets out. Like
It's bad faith.
this is not based in reality.
No.
This is based in like comic book.
Yeah.
It's not black and white, but it's more black and white than our.
But
world.
to like the way he focuses on the politics and is like, right, now's the part you're all waiting for, is like missing the point of the film. I feel like.
Yeah.
It's not. That's not what it's going for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a Superman movie first.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the complaints against the dog not being accurate to how crypto the dog should be. This great dog, this just perfect dog.
How
It's
boring
like-
would that be?
Well, yeah.
What could you do with that in a story?
Supergirl is done wrong. She's meant to be just like Superman. They're supposed to be the same person, really. Is like I didn't hear him like reviewing Zack Snyder's stuff and like shitting all over that. Like,
Yeah, true. I don't know when he started doing movie reviews.
yeah, I mean, he clearly said that he didn't like Man of Steel, at least, like.
He said it was overly dark.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, bad faith. The whole thing.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise, Ben Shapiro was bad faith.
Believe it or not, folks.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a few other little criticisms like that he brought up. He didn't like the Justice Gang.
Because they outshine Superman.
Well, they
knew people were going to be.
They
weird
simultaneously like outshine Superman, but also like don't have characterization, and you don't know their motivations. And it's like, again, have you never watched another comic book movie? Have you never watched a cartoon as a kid?
Yeah.
Have you were you interested in this stuff as a kid?
I feel like an 8-year-old could break it down better. You know?
Yeah. It's like I don't need in my Superman film the side character Mr. Terrific to have like a fleshed out backstory, because he also says it's overstuffed, but then the characters in it don't have enough. It's like it's kind of one or the other, dude. I'm taking it personally.
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro hates me, and I'm really upset about that.
I guess let us know your thoughts on Ben's Superman review and his awesome movie review output.
Yeah, what did we miss? Because
you would have done what, like Barbie, anything that like is in the zeitgeist, in the culture war somehow.
Yeah.
Well,
anything that would get attention.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
We got a baby to deal with.